Hey YouTube family, how are you guys doing? I hope you're all doing well. Don't mind the ensemble here. I'm just heading out to the gym and I thought I'd make this quick little video because I just got this little tiny pedal in the mail and I thought, here we go again. This is gonna suck. And it didn't. You guys know that I'm an old school kind of guy. Guitar, pedals, amp, or guitar, pedals, kind of direct amp type deal, FR speaker. Simple, step on it, the effect is on. Step on it again, the effect is off. Like, just, that's it. I've always hated multi-effects processors. Man, you have to get into the perimeters, you have to download IRs for them to sound good. Like, they can't make them sound good right from factory. No, you gotta like connect them to your computer and upload the latest whatever and speakers and all this. I hate that stuff. It just drives me nuts. And I have like a dinosaur computer. It never works. So like, I hate it. But recently, I've been seeing a lot of videos on this new Valton GP5 pedal, which is basically another guitar effects processor. So in my mind, default setting is, it sucks, you're gonna hate it. And normally I would have just left it at that. However, one of the guys I follow on my channel, his name is TR. How you doing, buddy? He recently bought one of these. Actually, he was so impressed he bought two of them. And that got my attention. I'm like, what? Because this guy's an old rocker, kind of like me. He's got amazing overdrive tone on his videos. Pretty much all he uses is just the one tone. Like, he's got a clean and a heavy gain setting. And he's got guitars that would make Eddie Van Halen, God rest his soul, like a kid in a candy store if he was walking through this guy's house. TR's the man when it comes to guitar collection, man. It's ridiculous the amount of stuff that this guy has. And every one of those guitars is tweaked, unless it's like some kind of high-end special edition thing. Anyway, he's got a lot of digital effects processors and, you know, computer programs, and I've seen him use a bunch of different stuff, and in my mind I'm just like, that's good for you, but it's not for me. I hate this stuff. But with this one, I was impressed at how impressed he was with it. So much so that I thought, you know what? I gotta buy one of these. And the fact that he shared with me that it had a Dr. Z model amp in it. One of the only high-end amps I've never owned. I don't know about you guys, but I'm spending $3,000 for an amplifier. It has to be good. What if I could get a Dr. Z amplifier for $100? So between TR and that thought of getting a Dr. Z amp, I decided to buy this Valton pedal. Knowing full well I'd probably return it as soon as I take this pedal out and plug it in. I'll be like, ugh! Because typical like effects process, you plug it in, it works out of the box, it's got a ton of effects, most of which I personally would never use live. So I gave it a second chance and I thought, well, I'm going to just download the Valton app and see how complicated this thing is. And it was super easy. Like, I was like, what? That little blue tab on the bottom right is the Valton app. You click on that app, opens it up, you get that, okay? Kind of nothing's happening because you have to be connected via Bluetooth. Press and hold this button. And now the Bluetooth starts to flash. You know, I'm not showing you up close because it doesn't matter. This is not a tutorial. And then you link the pedal. It's going to give you one option because that's all I have here. Click on that. Connect device. Done. That's it. Look at that. This is what I'm rocking right now. These are my settings, okay? All these pedals are always there. They're either on or they're off. So if they're dark, they're off. If they're colored, they're on. So I went into the amp and you'll see it says Z38. So this is based off of a Maz 38. So if I click the amp, it'll say Z38 OD based on Dr. Z Maz 38 Senior. High input, right? So it tells you what all these amps, so you can pick whatever amp you want. So now I don't know what amp was in there, before, I can't remember, but I just like modified the preset to what I wanted. So I selected the Z amp, and then I selected pedals that I would normally have in my chain. This is my compressor, and then distortion, I don't have any. I just wanted the amp. NS, I don't know what the heck that is. That's something you have to download, and I'm not going to do that. And then the amp, and then the cab. I picked something that I would normally pick. So I picked just a small cab, which is a 112 based on a Vox AC15. I had a custom Vox AC15 years ago. Loved the tone of it. So I just picked that. There's a ton. There's 412 cabs, 212 cabs. There's IRs you can download. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't play with that stuff. To me, that stuff is just annoying. But to you guys, it might be great. I ran an EQ pedal because the Dr. Z amps have like virtually no settings on them, like no mid, treble, bass. They're very simple. Mods, I don't do, that's your phasers, flangers. I don't use any of that stuff, so that's off. A little bit of delay, a little bit of reverb. And that's it. And then I went to my second patch and I did exactly the same thing again, but all I did was add an overdrive pedal, the green overdrive. So the Tube Screamer, right? And you can see the gain is really low, but I just pushed the front of the amp a little bit, just like I would like in a real setup. And then I did that same setup again. Again, I used the green overdrive with the same amp settings I had before, but check out the gain, right? So now I'm getting into some, decent overdrive. And then I did it again. And look at the gain on my green overdrive. So I basically have the same setup, just like if I was really at a gig, I'd have like my one amp, my one pedals, my one, right? But I would normally have a clean setting, a light drive setting, a mid gain setting, and then I would click my both drive pedals on at the same time for a higher gain setting. So that's how I decided I would set this up. Now with this, you can set up a ton of different patches, but I just really use 4. Here's what they sound like. I'm using the telly that I just modded. This is the Charvel. You can watch that video. It's in the playlist somewhere. And I'm still kind of getting used to it. But the cool thing about this pedal is it's your pedal, it's your amp, it's your speaker, it's your other effects, everything you need. And you can plug your guitar in it just like you would a normal pedal, but then the output, you can plug it on your pedal board with other pedals, or you can send it directly to an amp like I have here, but this amp is not connected, as you can see, right? It's just on the corner there. Or you can just send it directly to a powered monitor, which is what I have. So this is my Dr. Z Maz 38 Senior on the clean setting. You'll notice there's no noise, nice and quiet. And then when I punch the guitar, you guys, but I've played through a couple of Z amps and they always have that kind of like gritty sound and just on the verge of breakup, and that's pretty much exactly like it sounds. I think it sounds pretty cool for that. Like, that's nuts. So my second setting was exactly the same amp, pedals, everything. Just an overdrive with a little bit of gain in front of it. Go from this to this. bit more grit to dig in. Still articulate. Again, nice and quiet. Setting number 3, same settings again, but you can see the blue line there. The overdrive is almost at half. So now I get a little harder gain. Again, same platform, same amp. From this to this. Still familiar, but just a little bit more thickness. Still all kinds of articulation, and you'll notice on this one, my delay is set for a longer tail, and it's not so much of a slapback like I have in this one. That's a short delay. And on the heavier gain, I have it a little bit longer. It sounds crazy good in the room. It's very articulate and very punchy. And then for the last one, again, you'll notice everything is still pretty much the same. However, I have to increase the tone a little bit because I've increased the gain. And when you increase the gain, it gets a little thicker, so therefore it gets darker, right? So exactly the same as I would use just like a regular pedal. Like if I go thicker, I usually brighten it up a little bit. The heavy stuff still sounds familiar, it's just a lot thicker. The notes don't get lost in the drive. It's still somewhat articulate, and I like it. So when you're doing like hammer off and pull off stuff, like right? right? It's like country licks, but they still come through even though it's like higher gain. This is a great little pedal. It's like fantastic. I can't get over it. It's crazy. Now, it's not perfect. There's some stuff that I think they could improve. If it was me, I would make the pedal a little bit bigger and I would have 2 toggles. One to toggle up, one to toggle down. Have both toggles to change into a patch that would give you another maybe 4 or 5 different settings or whatever. Here the problem is you have to go through all of them. So I have this set, so I only have those 4. So I go like, A, B, C, D, and then it goes back to A. I can't go from A to C without passing through B or vice versa. You know what I mean? One thing I find with these guitar effects processors is they're always so noisy. So I have never, ever used a noise suppressor with my gear, ever. I never have any noise. I have like compressors, overdrive, delays, reverbs, EQ pedals, booster, a wah pedal. That's usually the basic stuff that I use on the floorboard and run into either an amp or a DI and then to a powered speaker or the board or whatever. And never have I ever needed a noise suppressor because of hissing or whatever. But with this, I absolutely need one. You'll see that the first one, the gray up here, the NR, right? That's your noise suppressor. It's on every one of my settings. This is my clean setting. You'll notice the drive pedal's not on. And if I take my noise gate off, listen to the noise that little pedal is causing. I don't get that with my regular gear. If I go to my mid-gain one, that's position number 2, if I take my noise gate off, listen to the noise of that thing, right? It just gets worse the higher gain you have. So I just don't understand how I can have a bunch of pedals connected with a bunch of cables, introducing more noise into the whole unit, and it's dead quiet in a real life live application. And then you have one device where you eliminate all cables, all outside interference, everything is programmed, it's all digital, it's not even real, and you get a ton of noise. It's weird. The last thing that I noticed about these things is the settings on specific pedals don't work like the real thing. Like, for example, that green overdrive, the tone knob on a real tube screamer is very precise. Like, you notice a lot of difference. On this one, from low to high, there is a difference, but it's very subtle, which I find weird because this is a digital thing. You could make it really precise, but it's not. And the other thing I noticed too is, especially with the reverbs, there's hall reverb, cathedral, spring, etc., etc. It just goes on, and they kind of all sound like crap. Like, none of them sound authentic. And I've heard that from another reviewer too, and I thought, maybe he's just fussy, but no, he was right. They're just, I don't know, they just don't sound authentic to the point where I I don't use them. I think I have a spring reverb set, and it's on just to say that it's there. But for the ambiance, I'm using delay. But that's my only issues. As far as functionality, not having to connect to a computer and download a bunch of crap for this pedal to actually work properly is fantastic. This app is super easy to use. It's super user-friendly, and you just approach it like you would real pedals, a real amp, and a real speaker. And the other thing that's really cool, let's say you had your GP5 and you're going to a gig or whatever. There is an amp there and you're like, oh man, I've never played through one of those. I want to play through one of those. Well, that's fine. Just go into your setting and shut your amp off. Because you don't need your amp to go into that amp, because now it's not going to sound like that amp or your amp. It's pretty neat, man. It's very user-friendly. I'm super impressed. And I haven't had to turn my computer on. If you're like me and you like point and shoot simple stuff, this little GP5 is a lot of fun. And I literally spent like 20 minutes before turning this camera on to show you what I did. And it sounds pretty good. I haven't like really tweaked anything. I haven't spent a lot of time on it. And that's one thing I absolutely hate with digital guitar effects processors is I find myself spending more time turning knobs and tweaking perimeters and understanding how the internals work and understanding how the menu works. And I'm not playing my guitar, which is the point of that unit, is to get you playing. But you're wasting so much time with it. With this, I don't know what your experience is, but I just turned it on. Everything's right there. Like there isn't anything else. I'm sure there is, but there isn't anything else that I need. Like everything is there. The pedals are there, the amp is there, the speaker cab is there. Put your finger on it, you enter it, you get a list, you change it, you save it. That's it. You're done. It's like you don't have to recall anything. There's no weird patches or banks to go up and down. I'm sure there are, but anyway, it was super simple. Yeah. So I thought I'd just log on and let you guys know, even an old school guitar into pedals, into amp guy like me can navigate that little GP5. It's friggin' fantastic. Valton, good job. If you want to learn how to use this and what it's capable of, this is not the channel for you. I'm just telling you, I was able to just plug into it and use it. To the point where if I could get a foot switch with 4 buttons, that's all I need, I would put that on a board, that foot switch, and have a boost pedal. I don't need a tuner. All I got to do is hold down the button and voila, I have a tuner. Everything is there. You guys let me know what you think if you have one. If you don't have one, you're thinking about it. I would say buy one now before the prices go up. So, I don't know. I'm glad I bought one. And like TR, I might actually just buy a second one, just in case this one goes down. Now, in closing, that's the last thing I will tell you. This old analog guy has had many a situation where one pedal or something goes wrong on my board. What do? I unplug that pedal and then get rid of one cable and plug the remaining cable in the next pedal, and that's it. Night goes on, right? Just take that pedal out of the chain, you're good to go. Nothing else is affected. You might lose an effect, you might lose a little bit of drive, but other than that, everything's good. With this, if that goes down, you're screwed. You got nothing. Your amp, your speaker cab, your pedals, your tuner, right? Everything is in there. If that goes down, you're done. So you may want to have a backup plan. Anyway, that's it for me. You guys take care. God bless. And I'll see you in the next one.